Hello, this is Success. How may I help you?
All right, awesome, Dan. So, first off, Dan, I want you to introduce yourself and tell exactly what it is that you do.
So, my name is Dan Fleyshman. I'm an angel investor in 31 different companies. My core business is a social media agency. So
Okay.
we run the brand campaigns for a lot of the female fashion brands, consumer products, Happy Tea, fashion brands, DraftKings, Lyft, Postmates. We do campaigns for all these brands that you
Okay.
see on social media, and we've been doing that for over 5 years. So we pay around 600 different influencers for campaigns, and we spend tens of millions of dollars for these brands to make them famouser.
Wow, that's interesting. Okay, so second of all, I want you to tell your story and how exactly did you get to where you are today?
So it all started in high school. I
Okay.
was working 3 jobs, saving up money, essentially to go to college, and I saved up the money, and instead I put it into starting a clothing company.
Okay.
And within like 4 months, I had a clothing line live. I went to a clothing convention called Magic in Las Vegas,
Okay.
and started meeting manufacturers, distributors, and started getting orders. And then the next few months, I was just going to hit up every single chain store and retailer and started building the brand. And then within a year, we were in like 600 stores,
All right.
and we got a $9.5 million licensing deal from the UK.
Wow.
And I was, holy smokes, we're 18 years old and we got this huge deal. And then from there, the next 4 years, just sold lots and lots of clothing.
Okay.
And then we took public on the stock market when we were 23 years old.
Wow, that's awesome.
So under the same brand name, launched an energy drink. Still have the clothing, but we're focused on the energy drink. And the next 4 years, I just didn't sleep. And I got us into 55,000 retail stores in America and
Wow.
a few thousand overseas at all the military bases. And yeah, so that was my like 10 years from 17 to 27. And then after that, I wanted to start an online poker site. So
Okay.
within 10 weeks, I was live, and within 10 months, we're the third biggest poker brand in the world.
Wow.
Then online poker was shut down in America, so I closed my company all of a sudden like that. So I never wanted to have all my eggs in one basket ever again. So
Yeah.
I decided to become an angel investor. So I started investing in a bunch of different companies, so that if any one thing didn't work out, I still had other stuff going on. And so yeah, so since then, done 31 of those investments. And then the social media agency happened because I was buying campaigns from different people in the social media space, and I
Yeah.
realized that I could do it better. And so I
Yeah.
decided that my partner had like 35 million followers on all these accounts, and
Okay.
he was really into the space, and I was buying different campaigns from him from different companies. And finally, he was like, "Hey, how can I get equity in these deals? Like, how can we work this together?" So we
Yeah.
decided to form an agency, and so I haven't looked back since.
That's awesome, man. Especially starting off so young. Like, what kind of gave you the oomph to start off so young?
I didn't have any other choice. Like, we didn't have money, like, so growing up, family of four, living off 24 grand a year
Okay.
in LA, it's like, it's not, you're not even getting by, you're just value pounding.
Yeah.
So I just didn't want my family to struggle. So I was like, you know what? I don't want them to have to support me. I want to support them if I can. So I just started working 3 jobs, and I was selling candy in my classrooms, and I was selling T-shirts outside during lunch. I was doing whatever I had to make money at all times, morning, noon, and night, um, so that I could pay for myself and hopefully then pay for them.
Okay. So my next thing is with the journey, and you already talking about having to struggle with the income that your family was making and to get off the ground. What do you think your greatest struggle was in the journey, or what was some of the greatest struggles that you think you had to overcome throughout the process of lifting up and getting in equity in all of these companies and building all of these companies up?
Yeah, so I think the biggest struggle was just dealing with other people and depending on them.
Okay.
Uh, when when you fully depend on somebody, they don't come through. It's still a reflection on you. And
Yeah.
so a lot of I was expecting people to work as hard as I do,
Yeah.
and it put me in a lot of weird spots. And so I try to avoid that now, where I still have to be able to trust people to do things, but I'm much more involved in the process.
Yeah. All right. So mindset must be a huge thing in what you're doing, like building all these companies up, making sure that you're able to achieve and like navigate through the companies as well as push past failures, such as you saying like America didn't allow like your poker company to work online anymore. How big is mindset to you, and what exactly would you define mindset as?
Sure. So mindset is absolutely critical. I think it's one of my biggest advantages because I'm so relentless and I'm not scared of failure whatsoever because I expect failure along the way. And a lot of people are so emotional about failure and they get so embarrassed or nervous that they don't want to fail in front of people.
Yeah.
There's no entrepreneur in history of the world that doesn't have failures. Big ones.
Yeah.
Or if they're Mark Zuckerberg and Mark Cuban and every other rich Mark, they all have these mega failures along the way. And even when they have big companies, they still have failures. You know,
Yeah.
Facebook has bought dozens and dozens of companies that have failed, even though they have hundreds of billions of dollars and all the access in the world.
Yeah.
So even at scale, people are failing. You know, like every company that Mark Cuban does isn't successful. Now, the wins really outshine the losses, but they're not scared of having those losses along the way. And that's how I feel. Like the same thing. Like if right now, while on this podcast, if a glass of wine spilled over and this person was screaming and something was happening, I would clean up in front of you guys on a podcast. I don't care. Like my mindset is, as long as I'm doing everything that I can do to make my company successful or make my staff successful or my friends or my family successful, as long as I'm putting in the effort, what happens from the result, I can't sit and cry about. You know, like you practice basketball every single day, and then when you get into the game, you miss your shot. Well, as long as you did all the right things, you can't be embarrassed. Like, you know, Michael Jordan's best commercial is him talking about all the shots he missed.
Yeah.
That was his best commercial by far. The same reason I talk about the failures. Like, you're going to learn so much more from my failures than you are my successes.
Yeah. I saw that. I saw one of your posts earlier today.
Yeah.
I was like, that's so true. So my next thing is, do you have any morning routines or things that you do to set up and prepare for your mindset for the day, or just prepare you for the day?
Yeah, I mean, the morning I try not to just jump right into my phone because once you get into your phone, you kind of go down the rabbit hole and like you become very responsive to people instead of you putting out into the world. You're just responding to fires.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to, you know, get really woken up and get food and get water and like I'm, you know, make sure the dogs and the wife, everybody's all set, and then I'll get onto my phone. But I would like to do meditation, but I don't. I would like to do other things in the morning that I don't. I think the people that talk about those things the best are guys like Jim Quick and Ed Milet. Jim Quick is the #1 mental coach in the world. And Ed Milet has a really good outlook about his morning routine, about how to get up and take on the world.
Yeah.
For me, I'm still in like full-fledged work mode. Like I love it. I'm passionate about it. So
Yeah.
I'm not the best example for people that want that pure balanced life.
Yeah.
My balance is like this.
Yeah.
In that chaos, I'm happy. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what the morning routine's for, is kind of to get that happiness if like you're too overwhelmed or overstressed. But if like the chaos is what creates your happiness, then I think you have like the right mindset for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what would be the #3 tip? What would be like the top 3 tips you have for somebody in your industry?
So it's really important to make sure that there's clarity. The communication part is so important on the contract, via text, via in person, on the phone, however you're doing your communication. There has to be absolute clarity of what you're going to do and what you expect them to do.
Okay.
The biggest problem for people is, let's say I leave the house in the morning and we're roommates, and on the table there's plates and it's really messy, and I just assume that you're going to clean it up because I think you're going to. And then I get back from work and you're off at school, and I get back and there's a big messy plates and I have a business meeting there.
Yeah.
Well, should I be mad at you if I didn't clearly say, hey, I have a business meeting coming at 5 o'clock. Can you clean it up?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes people just assume that people are going to do something. And at the same time, you might have assumed I was going to clean it up before the meeting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I take that in every aspect of my life, whether it's relationships, whether it's family, friends, business, paying social media influencers. If I don't get clarity, how can I expect them to do what I want? And
Yeah.
too often people think that we're mind readers, like your girlfriend or wife or boyfriend or husband cannot read your mind the same way your
Yeah.
employer reads your mind. So the clarity is, I'd say, the most important thing. The second is signing very basic contracts. Those
Okay.
basic contracts go from as high level as $1 zillion people to your child, making them sign like three sentences saying they are going to do their homework for the next 30 days, and at the end of 30 days they are going to get an Xbox or whatever that thing is.
Okay.
Signing basic contracts with people is just, it makes the same thing about the communication. It makes it on paper and it makes clarity so that both parties know what they have to do in order to have a result.
Yeah.
And then the third thing is blunt honesty.
Okay.
Like, people try to sugarcoat things too much, or they're too scared to just explain the truth.
Yeah.
The truth is always going to come out.
Yes.
It's way better to come from you than from somebody else 3 weeks later,
Yeah.
for lots of reasons in between.
Yeah.
The resentment, the frustration, the wonderment of trusting you, just
Yeah.
saying, ripping the band off and saying, hey, I can't make your clothes in time, or I can't manufacture this on time, or this campaign needs an extra 6 days. Like, just saying that puts you in a situation where they can work through it. You guys can all work through it. But if you don't say it, and then the 6 days happens, or the 3 weeks happens, or the thing doesn't happen, now you're in a really bad spot because they're very mad at you for all sorts of different reasons.
Yeah. And as well as people might not know your intention behind like why you thought for a second to slack off and not tell them, when it might have been like you were just trying to give like a little white lie because you're like, oh no, you're really good at this, and then somebody pursues something that is not like something that's very well at.
Yeah.
So my next question is, what's something that you are working on right now, Dan, or something that you're going to be working on in the future that you're like extremely passionate about and you can't wait till this comes out?
Yeah, I think the one I'm most passionate about is an app called Celebrity. It's like
Okay.
Celebrity, CELEBVIDY. So that took over 3 years and over $1 million, $2 million of like real hard, intensive labor to make this thing work perfectly. And
Yeah.
essentially, it's just getting live now, and now I haven't told the whole world yet, but it's, we're onboarding a bunch of different celebrities and influencers and speakers and authors. Essentially, it's a way for anybody to be able to ask questions from
Okay.
look up to. So let's say you want to ask a clothing question from Damon John.
Okay.
Well, the app allows you to pay a small amount of money and Damon John to send the video just to you, not to everybody else, just to you. Or you say, hey, I want this big celebrity to wish happy birthday to my girlfriend or my daughter or my uncle or my cousin. Now the celebrity can make a happy birthday video just to you to give to them.
Okay.
The great thing is it's one-to-one, and
Yeah.
it's all done within inside the app, and the app works so beautifully, and so I'm really excited to get it out to the world.
I think I heard about that through Instagram. Are you working with somebody with like, I think it's like void influencing or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. I saw that. That's awesome. I think that's a really cool idea, and as many celebrities as you guys can get on board, that would be really awesome.
Yeah.
So my next thing is, when did you decide like a 9-to-5 job wasn't for you? And have you ever worked a 9-to-5 job, and like what made you make that decision, like this is not going to be what I do for the rest of my life?
So in high school, I worked three jobs at the same time. Not all 9 to 5, but I started my company after that, so I didn't have technically a job after that. I have taken on consulting roles that were kind of like a job twice later. I have nothing against a 9 to 5. Like if the offer was right to go be an executive for Snapchat or Facebook or Instagram or one of the key companies that I like Postmates, I'd look up to. If it was big enough, which would be hard just because my agency is so big and some of my companies are so big. But just as the example, if one of them came and gave me some crazy offer, I would go work a 9 to 5 for Postmates. Like I just love the company,
Yeah.
So I have nothing against the 9 to 5 concept if you love what you're doing. Now, could somebody come offer me $1 million to go work a 9 to 5 for something that I don't like? No, absolutely not. Even if they offered me $2 million, no. I would rather make less and do what I love than make more and do something that I don't. But from the concept of not working 9 to 5, I have absolutely nothing against 9 to 5s. I think 9 to 5s get a bad rap.
Okay.
Because it's important and it's nice to have stability. Meaning, my agency, I'm the last one to get paid every month.
Yeah.
We do millions and millions of dollars in revenue, more than that. But if something happened in the company, I have to pay everything else first. I have to pay all the lawyers and accounting, shipping, marketing, office, rent, staff, insurance. I have to pay all those things, and then I'm very, very last to get paid.
Yeah.
Where employee number 3, they get paid every single day, every single month. So what's wrong with being employee number 3 at a company that you like? Why not have a 9 to 5 at a company that you like, and you don't have the stress of being the CEO or founder?
Yeah.
I think people give 9 to 5s a bad rap, and there's nothing wrong with having stability and a less stressful life.
No, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. As long as you enjoy what you're doing and you're passionate about it, that's what matters.
Right.
So, what is your dream goal, Dan? Like, if you got taken away from planet Earth tomorrow, what do you want to accomplish before you leave this Earth?
I want to save the world. I mean, my passion is my charity. That's my number one thing.
Okay.
We make backpacks for the homeless with 150 emergency supply items inside, and it's 14 pounds of supplies that I give to people for the last 7 years. That's my real passion. In my dream world, I become a billionaire and just do my charity. I don't want $1 billion for me. I don't buy stuff. I don't need stuff. I want it because I know what I can do with $1 billion. I know the game of what I can do with it to help tens of millions of people. And so that's really my goal. The reason I work so hard is for my charity and my family.
Okay. Do you want to explain a little bit more what your charity is?
Yeah, so it's modelcitizenfund.org, and it's the 0% charity, meaning I cover 100% of expenses, costs, staff, everything to do with the charity.
Okay.
And essentially, it's $100 for a backpack with 150 items inside. Half of it's food, and half of it's cleaning supplies, a watch, a hat, poncho, sleeping bag, sunglasses, etc. And then we give those to homeless people, and we also do it for women at abuse shelters, orphanages, and then whenever there's a disaster, we'll send a bunch of backpacks of supplies to the disasters.
Wow, that's awesome. Where is it located, and what areas is it located in?
So we're based in LA, but we do it in LA, San Diego, Las Vegas as our primaries, just because that's where my staff and my friends are. And then whenever there's a situation like the tornadoes in Puerto Rico, we shipped out jumbo jets full of supplies to Puerto Rico within 2 days. When the big earthquake happened in Mexico City last year, the girl, Marcela Navarrete, the girl that runs my charity, she got on a plane and went to Mexico City and was pulling rubble off of people. We're there really quickly as far as a charity. We're very functional.
Yeah.
But our core is LA, San Diego, Vegas.
Okay. How could people in LA, San Diego, Las Vegas, and maybe some other people, if they wanted to fly out there, get involved and volunteer in your charity?
So we do charity events every 2-3 months. And then during the last part of the year, we do it once a month. What's it called? August through December, we do once a month. But a lot of times they can just do it themselves in their city. Because we're a 0% charity, it doesn't do anything for them to specifically do it for me. They can make supplies in their city. They can live in Boston and get a bag or backpack, fill it up with supplies, and go give it out. For me, it's just the process of helping people. It's not having to do it for me or my charity. Now, if they don't want to do it, they can just raise money for Model Citizen Fund. We'll go give out the backpacks for them, or we'll ship backpacks to them that they can go give out.
So someone who might be less experienced with the homeless, because I've helped feed the homeless a little bit, and I've helped do some charity events. But what would you recommend they put inside the bag, and what would you recommend would kind of be somewhat of a safe way to know where to go and help people out?
Sure. So the number one most requested item is socks.
Okay.
Number 2 most requested is duct tape.
All right.
Number 3 is the self-care things like cleaning supplies, soap, toothbrush, just like soft wipes, clean wipes, wet wipes, stuff like that. Those
Yeah.
really are like from the care side. From the food side, it's things that are non-perishable.
Okay.
Beef jerky, nutrition bars, peanuts, raisins. Like it's things that can last 6 months to a year.
All right.
Those type of non-perishable goods. Those are the ones that really help because it's easier for them to then not have to worry about eating it right away.
Yeah.
And then as far as safety goes, it's better to do it through a homeless shelter or or with other people. You don't want to just go walk the streets in downtown like giving it out because it can put you in weird spots. So it's better to be with people, or specifically if you can do it with a homeless shelter and get involved there. They usually have events every weekend.
Okay, that's awesome.
I always do that. Yeah.
So my next question, Dan, is what's your number one piece of advice? Like, if you had to live by one piece of life advice, and it might be something you live by daily or might be something that you've recently been living by, what would your number one piece of life advice be?
Number one advice is I think it's just being blunt in every aspect of your life.
Okay.
If you are hungry, say it out loud. If you want to hug, say you want to hug. Like if you want to watch a show, say you want to watch a show. If you
Okay.
the things you want, and the people around you, or the people you're texting with, or the people that are in your life, just be blunt with what you want. Like, I think people are too scared to sugarcoat things, and they're trying to like walk on eggshells. Like, you're gonna resent somebody if you wanted to watch a show, or you wanted to eat at this restaurant, or you want to go see that movie, or you want to do this thing with that person. Like, just be blunt about it. And if you miss somebody, tell them you miss them. Like, if you want to go hang out with somebody, text them first. Don't wait for them to text you. Or, like,
Yeah.
take the actions because life is so short. Like, it's so short.
Yeah. What would you say to somebody who would try to counter your argument and say that being blunt could be rude or selfish, like just doing what you want to do? Like, where do you think would be like the mid ground of if somebody's like, oh, just doing what you want to do is selfish?
Yeah, I think they should be selfish.
Okay.
To be as blunt as I can be.
Yeah.
I think people are. I'm way too giving to everybody else, and in that process, being blunt when you want to help somebody is also part of it as well.
Okay.
But if you don't help yourself, and if you don't take the things that you want, if you don't do the things for you along the way, you can't properly help everybody else.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I think that's something that I also hear a lot from Gary, where he's like, if you don't help yourself first, then you're not going to want to ever help other people because you're going to feel like you're getting nothing in return.
Yeah.
So my next thing is anything that you want to shout out, any social media things, like your Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, charity, or any of the companies that you're working with right now.
Sure. I mean, my Instagram, all my social media accounts are the same. It's at Dan Fleyshman, FLEYSHMAN. It's also really important for you guys, like, every social media platform you do should have the exact same screen name, same photo, and then same bio. It's important to be on as many platforms as you can, even if you don't post on them regularly. Like, let's say you mostly post Instagram, you should still have Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, etc., just to have them to lock in your name and to lock in your presence there. It's important just to lock those things. And as far as my charities, modelcitizenfund.org or modelcitizenfund.com. That's kind of the main ones. Company wise, there's just too many to shout out. We'll need a whole hour. So many. Really, you can see a lot of it from my Instagram. I post about my projects and companies, and if you scroll through there, you can see things that may interest you, from charity events to my business events to my products to my investments, etc. They're all kind of on there for people to see.
So just one other question. So I've noticed recently you've been doing a lot of speaking events, and I'm not sure if that's something that you normally do, but if it's something that you've just been getting into, like, what started to interest you to go and start speaking and influencing younger people?
Sure. So I've been speaking for many years. It's just now, last year, for my agency, I hired a CEO that's like really, really high level that helps run the whole place. So because my office is finally running without me having to do a lot of it, it has freed me up to be able to travel and to do the speaking much more. And
Okay.
because social media is becoming more prevalent, it makes more sense for me to go out there, get the content, be able to reach way more people from the content.
Yeah.
Not just 300 people in the room. Now, a couple 100,000 people can see it online also. So I think that part is compelling to me, and that's driven me to start speaking a lot more.
All right. Thank you so much, Dan, for being on. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a fantastic day.
Awesome. Thank you.
See you, Dan.
Bye.